Yo, what's up? This is Jay from Evasive Motorsports, and today we're bringing you back another install video. Today we're working with the HKS Super Sequential blow-off valve on this 2019 Honda Civic Type R. Let's get it. Now that the cover's off, we're gonna start off by taking off the battery. Negative side comes off first. Put that to the side. Now you wanna do the power cable. You gotta get all these cables out of here from the clips. One more. Now for the battery bracket. That's out. Now for the battery. Next thing is going to be the battery tray itself. It's going to be 3 bolts on the frame, which will be a 12 mil, and then all the rest are 10. Go ahead and take that out. Luckily, they're all the same size. Now for the little 12 mils. So that's out, battery tray comes out. Once you get the battery out, you want to go ahead and move on to the air box. We're going to partially take it out, but fully take out the air box itself, just so we have enough room to take out the piping and whatnot. And yeah. Pinch and pull. Disconnect the map sensor. This guy off to the side. Now I'm just gonna do the air box. 10 mil with a long extension. There's 2 10 mil bolts here. The one on the very bottom you can leave, which won't go anywhere actually. And the top one you want to take out. Okay, now that's loose. You can go ahead and do the hose clamp. And use a 5.5 mil just to get these out, but you can also use a Phillips screwdriver. Go ahead and pull this back. Lift it up, get the other end, lift it up. There's a grommet on here on the air box. Just gotta lift up on it.
Where's it located?
Right under the air box, there's a pin for it there. Just like that. Air box out. And here's the other bolt that's in the very bottom that you can just leave there. So now I'm gonna start taking off this hose clamp, which is this guy. And there's also another one in the very back, which is way over here. And this is your pressure sensor and your bracket and a vacuum hose. Yeah, you're gonna need a 10 mil and a 12 mil socket. That one's loose, you can go ahead and wiggle it out. Move this to the side so it doesn't get in your way. This vacuum hose has a clamp on it. Just want to squeeze it. Get that up. kind of give the hose a little wiggle so it frees itself. Then it should come right off. Move this guy to the side. You're gonna still be installing that back. You can go ahead and unplug your map sensor, just like that. Put that off to the side. Get my other hose clamp. Make sure it's loose enough. Should be good. Should be able to wiggle now. Once you have these off, you can go ahead and take out the whole pipe. Should be like, yeah, just like that. Next now is we're gonna go ahead and transfer the map sensor. Boom. Which is only held on by a 10 mil bolt. Go ahead and do that. This is the map sensor. Give it a good clean. Then you can put it into the new pipe. Just like that. You want to go ahead and get your M6 bolt, washer and lock washer. Tighten this up. Just like that. So HKS supplies you with a vacuum hose fitting, which is this guy, and a vacuum plug, which is just this little guy. Depending on your setup, which this guy's fully stocked right now, we're gonna go ahead and use the vacuum hose. So we'll use the vacuum fitting and go ahead and put it onto the charge pipe. But for future reference, keep this just in case you change your setup if you don't need the vacuum hose anymore. Put that off to the side. So yeah, I'm gonna tighten up the vacuum fitting with a 12 mil wrench. You don't want to go all the way down. You'll start to feel it get tight. Just like that. That's all you need. You don't have to go all the way down. I also added Teflon tape onto the vacuum fitting, just for more of a sealant, Go ahead and slip this in here. Yeah. So yeah, if you have a rough time putting this in, you can always loosen the clamp a lot more, just so you have more wiggle room. If not, you can always use old trusty WD-40. Just put a little bit on the pipe itself. What's good about WD-40, it dries up over time. Goes in with ease. Don't forget to position your hose clamp the way it's easy for you to tighten. So HKS supplies you with 2 brackets, which will be going onto the charge pipe and basically holding up the blow-off valve. So they supply you with a M8 30 mil bolt, an M8 20 bolt, and an M8 15 mil bolt. Separately in the package, it comes with the washer and lock washer. You want to put the lock washer first, and then the washer. Just have it all ready, and then we can go ahead and move on to the car. So we're gonna go ahead and get this bracket first. And the long M8 bolt. It's the M30mm bolt. And the brass spacer. So what you're gonna wanna do is get the spacer, put this under the bracket, and your bolt, slide that through, just like this. You're gonna wanna go in the back on the factory bracket where the factory charge pipe was held onto. So you wanna start with the back one. Lift it up, screw it into the hole. Keep in mind just to leave everything loose because these brackets are slotted for the other brackets, and you kind of want to keep it loose for now so everything sits into place. And you want to go ahead and get one of the factory bolts. Go ahead and screw that onto the pipe. Now you're on the front bracket. Again, leave it loose. We'll come back to it. So we have the HKS L bracket. Then you want to get the medium length 25mm bolt. You're gonna want to put this onto the last hole we got for the charge pipe. And this will be set in front of the other bracket, just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt in here, just like that. So now for the good part is your HKS blow-off valve and the last M8 bolt you have in your set, which should be the shortest one. So this one's gonna be sitting in front of the two brackets we just put on, just like this. It'll sit in there just like this. You wanna go ahead and get the bolt, slide it all the way in the back, behind the two brackets. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so we just basically finished installing the blow-off valve with the charge pipe. We left everything loose earlier, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten everything up, put the vacuum line back on, tighten up the hose clamp, put this hose clamp back in. So yeah, I got a 13mm wrench. I'll go ahead and tighten the bolts HKS supplied me. Now I got a 13mm socket with an extension. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the blow-off valve. And while you're tightening, you wanna hold it straight up, just so it's not crooked. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the vacuum line, which will go back onto this guy, just like that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the factory bolt, which is the 12mm. That's in the very front, on the front bracket. The long extension. Don't forget to plug in your map sensor. Should be like this. Make sure you hear the click. It's good. Since you're back there, you can go ahead and tighten up your hose clamp. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the factory silicone hose. Again, if you have trouble putting this in, you can always use WD-40. Make sure it's up pretty good, preferably about 1 inch. Then you get your hose clamp, 10mm. Loosen it up, get it past the flange. Then you can tighten it back up. Make sure it's even on both sides, front and back. Like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the HKS bypass hose. We'll put it onto the charge pipe and to the blow-off valve. This is the hose that HKS supplies you, and 2 clamps, which is the only 2 clamps in the box. So go ahead and get the hose clamp, position it on the hose to where you get an easy access to tightening, which would be this way. And this one I'll put this way. So there's a short end and a long end on the hose. You want the short end to go onto the blow-off valve and the long end onto the charge pipe. Just like that. You can either use a flathead screwdriver to tighten the hose clamp or an 8mm socket. Just like that. We're gonna start by removing the vacuum hoses that are here on the passenger side of the car. These hoses connect to the solenoid valve in the very back. There's 2 hoses. What you want to do is get a needle nose and loosen up these hose clamps because you're going to get ready to take these off. So you want to go ahead and remove this guy. Just take it off, put it to the side. So there's 2 hoses coming from the factory vacuum. It's gonna be one here and then one back here. You're gonna have to eliminate the one that's in the very back. And the one in the front you're gonna be reusing. With that, you're gonna be using the supplied hose that came in the box. It's roughly thick. And a joint pipe, which goes from small to big. So the big end will basically go into the big hose, and the small end will go into the hose that we left on. Glass hose clamp onto the hose. HKS provides you with a filter. It's not a one-way, but there is a big end and a small end. Go ahead and slide the big end in on the big hose. Clamp that down. HKS provided you with a small thin hose. Go ahead and put this on. Run it. Route it to where it looks pretty. Cut it to length. Put it into the blow-off valve. Just like that.